aka the Principal Painter, and welcome back to the channel. I am again a day late on my WIP and chat. I'm thinking of asking Maritza and Mindy and Brandy of Mystery of Diamonds if they mind if I change my WIP and chats on our collab to Tuesday. We are, all four of us, doing a collab, and the collab is on thankfulness. And again, I've been thinking a lot about Thanksgivings of the past and just being thankful. And our hashtag is GiveThanksVember. So it's hashtag G-I-V-E, thanks, and then Vember, like November, but it's ThanksVember because we're thankful for things. So I started probably talking to myself, no doubt. I started thinking about just past Thanksgivings and some unusual past Thanksgivings that I have been a part of. And I've had a few. We haven't really had any like family fighting over stuff set at the table or anything, but there have been a few Thanksgivings that I have spent away from home, and that's always really, really hard. And I was telling Brandy this story the other day. For my 50th birthday, Marlon took me to New York City. And he told me, Carrie, you're turning 50. You can go anywhere in the world that you want to go. And I said, New York City. And he said, Carrie, we could be like on a beach drinking umbrella drinks. And I said, nope, New York City. It's one of my favorite places on the planet. I love the action. I love just seeing everything and just being a part of that hustle and bustle. And I know that's not a lot, or some people's cup of tea, but that's where I wanted to go. And when we were there, we did the whole tourist thing. We saw Billy Joel in Madison Square Garden and went to Broadway, to walk down there and take pictures. And we went to the 9/11 museum. And we ended up paying a little bit extra for a guided tour, which I'm so glad we did, because if we had walked through that museum by ourselves without a tour guide, we would have, known some stuff, of course, but not known the stories behind it. And a lot of these tour guides were in New York City when 9/11 happened. And we got almost to the end of the tour, and we rounded a corner, and I saw this sign. And I mean, it was like I was having a flashback. The hair on my arm stood up. And it said, "This way to Windows on the World." And Windows on the World is a restaurant at the top of the Trade Center. And so in high school, one Thanksgiving, it was over Thanksgiving, my theater director took us to New York. And you can just imagine, I was a senior in high school at the time, and you can imagine a bunch of rowdy theater kids, ready to go to New York and see plays. And, he had, of course, he actually, before he started teaching, he was an actor on Broadway. He was in a chorus line. And so it was really cool to hear his stories about Broadway. And so we were all so excited to go. I had been to New York before, but, not for fun. I was dancing with a dance company, and so we were dancing constantly day and night. So this was just going to be a fun trip where we could do touristy things, and my light pad is being persnickety, sorry. But so we go, and I remember him calling us out in the hall at the beginning of the trip and saying, look, we are here. We know you guys want to go out and have fun and whatnot. Your job is to get back to your hotel room without getting arrested, because I'm not coming to get you. You will sit in a New York City jail. Do not do anything that would cause that to happen, and we're all good, and we're all gonna go home. So we kind of had free reign of our time there. Well, Thanksgiving Day came, and we were so excited. We got to watch the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade out our hotel windows. It was freezing cold, but we opened the windows and froze ourselves out of our rooms and got to watch live the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and I just thought that was so cool. Well, then afterwards, it was, again, Thanksgiving, and there were 3 girls, 1 guy, and we were like, well, what are we gonna do for Thanksgiving dinner? We're away from our families, we're away from, home-cooked meals, that sort of thing. And somebody said, well, let's go to Windows on the World. And I'm like, what's that? And they're like, it's on the top of the World Trade Center. It's way high in the air. It's beautiful. We can go. And, you know, our parents had given us some money for Thanksgiving dinner so we could have a decent dinner. And so that's what we ended up doing. We had Thanksgiving dinner at Windows on the World on the top of the World Trade Center. And I remember when the towers fell, I said, I had Thanksgiving there. And it was a delicious dinner. We had a great time. But seeing that sign at the 9/11 museum, I was just kind of stood there for a moment in silence, just remembering that special time. And, you know, at the time we were having dinner, you have no clue what's going to happen. You know, you have no idea that, you know, that beautiful site and that beautiful restaurant would no longer be there. But had so much fun there. Was one of my most memorable Thanksgivings, and I was actually away from my parents. So that was interesting. Another Thanksgiving I remember. Oh my goodness. So I was dating a guy in college, and all I'll say about that. And he invited me to his grandmother's house to have Thanksgiving dinner. And I thought, oh, this is kind of weird. I want to be home. But okay, he's my boyfriend. I'm going to go. And I went. It was the most horrific Thanksgiving dinner I've ever had. They didn't even have gravy. Like, who doesn't have gravy on Thanksgiving? Come on, people. So after that debacle, I got home, and I got home late that evening because she wasn't close, and we had to drive a little bit. But I made my mother get up, and she's in her bathrobe. She was ready to go to bed, and I said, Mom, I've got to have your Thanksgiving dinner. This was awful. It was terrible. And so she got up in her robe and heated me up my Thanksgiving dinner with gravy. Yes, with gravy, because I have to have that. And again, I'm going to ask a question at the end of this whip and chat for my grand prize. So you'll have to stick with me until the end to know the question, but it has something to do with food. So I will let you know that in a moment. So then I got married to my first husband, and my first Thanksgiving, I was nervous as all get out. I mean, I can cook, but a big old turkey, I'd never done that. My mother had always done that, and I was scared to death. So I'm like, oh God, what do I do? And so my mom's walking me through it. And the first Thanksgiving turned out great. I'm like, oh my God, this turkey cooking is no big deal. The second year, family comes to the house. I'm cooking again. I'm like, I got this. Last year, what have you. I put the turkey in the oven. Family comes over. We're sitting around, you know, playing cards, eating appetizers, chatting, what have you. And my ex-mother-in-law looks at me and she goes, Kara, I don't smell anything. Like, I don't smell the turkey cooking. I had not turned on the oven. So I said, either we turn it on now and we can eat about 8 o'clock tonight, or we're going to be having McDonald's for Thanksgiving dinner. So we turned on the oven and I heated up some more appetizers and said, sorry folks, my problem. And then there was the year, and again, these are all subsequent years to the first year. So the first year should have been the disaster. Oh no, this is like the third or fourth Thanksgiving. So I put the turkey in the oven. Don't forget to turn on the oven. Yay me. Well, some turkeys, and you know when you're rinsing them out and getting them ready to you know, put in a roasting pan and put in your oven, they have the plastic bags on the, you know, on the inside of the turkey that you pull out. I don't deal with that. It's gizzards. I think they're gross. I know some people don't. Some people in my family love them. I just don't like them. My personal preference. So I took out of the big, you know, turkey carcass. Why do we have so many drills that are not supposed to be where they're at? Anyway, so I took that one out. Thought, got it made. Well, unbeknownst to me and other turkeys, if you go into what I call the butt of the turkey and lift that little flap up, there's another package in there with more stuff. Well, I didn't know that. So put it in the oven. Was so proud. I remember to turn it on, and yeah, we had burnt plastic smell happening in my house. crazy. Yeah, so a lot's happened to me on Thanksgivings. Now, last year, oh my gosh, now we can't do it this year. I know we can't, but it was amazing. So, as all of you know, I'm divorced, so our kids stay with us at Thanksgiving sometimes and go to my ex-husband sometimes, and you know, that's always been fine. We've never had a problem with that. So last year we had no kids. And one of the moms on Blake's football team had told me about this amazing Thanksgiving brunch. And many of you know Galveston is, you know, beach community. It's close to Houston, and Moody Gardens is an attraction tourist spot in Galveston, and that's where they had this amazing brunch. When I'm telling you, this was the grandest display of food I've ever seen in my life, and I've been to some grand displays of food. While we were waiting to get into the dining room, we had servers helping us, having us help ourselves to mimosas, so we, you know, the wait wasn't quite as painful. It was absolutely gorgeous. Anything you wanted, it was there, and we had a wonderful time. You know, just living it up and eating, and our tummies were so happy at the end, and there was no cleanup. Yay! So that was exciting, exciting, exciting. For those of you that did not tune into my last Whip and Chat, I am working on Joyous Ladies. It is by Sharon Cummings. It is a Diamond Art Club. I'm doing this in honor of my counselors because I'm very thankful to them, and I was thankful to them again today. Oh my gosh, what a day. What a day. When you're having to follow safety protocols every single day, it gets a little bit scary, and you know, ugh. So they were in my nurse's office helping us and helping the kids and helping them to stay safe, and the nurse's office was a zoo today, that's all I'm going to say. But you know what? Everybody handled things beautifully. Everything turned out fine. Again, we're just trying to keep everybody safe, and it is additional work on my staff, and I'm very thankful to my staff. They're incredible. They don't get told thank you enough, and I'm going to make a pledge to myself to change that, because teachers and staff members need to get told every day, you are amazing, and I thank you so much. And if you're a parent, I would encourage you to send an email to your child's teacher thanking them for what they do. If you're thankful. Sometimes you're not, I get it. But if you're thankful, do that, and CC their principal, because that means the world to a teacher. And with these blended classrooms and all they're doing, just an email from you. Just take 5 minutes and just email them and let them know what an impact they're making on your child and on their schooling, and just that you see them and you see what they're doing. Again, it's really important to them, and it brightens their day and lifts their mood. And you know, some people that are kind of at the end of their rope with all this, they're scared of what's going on and whatnot. But sometimes just getting a note from a parent means the world. Or if you're a grandparent, wow. If I was a teacher and got a note from a grandparent, I would think that was amazing. And again, CC their principal so that the teacher knows that their principal got that note too, because that means a lot. And what I do is I print off those emails and I put them in their personnel file. And they know that, and they love it. They're like, oh my gosh, you're taking time to do that. So yeah, thank a teacher for sure. If you're looking for something to be thankful for, you're probably not. You're all grateful people. Oh my gosh. The questions in my Whip and Chat last week was, what are you grateful for? You guys made me cry. I mean, some of these things, and I'm still getting comments. I mean, some of these things really touched my heart. I couldn't believe it. You know, and again, speaking of school, I remember when I was an elementary principal especially, you know, the kids at junior high, they get into Thanksgiving, but they're just happy to be out of school. So they're just racing for the door. Elementary kids, it's all about the celebrating and the celebration and all what they get to do. And I still remember going down the first grade hallway and seeing my precious first graders, and they're all in their paper pilgrim and paper Indian attire, And my first grade teachers would have a feast, Thanksgiving feast. It was more like snack trail mix kind of feast. It wasn't like full on turkey or anything, but it was so much fun to go down and see the little ones, you know, with their marshmallows and their pretzels and their, you know, just all the stuff. There were bugles, what they brought, and they just make trail mix, and they were all sitting, and they had, I don't know who made this tablecloth, but it was like the red carpet. It was all the way down the hall, and the little ones are sitting on either side of it, feasting in their little costumes, and it was so cute. I just remember sitting at many a Thanksgiving Day feast and eating marshmallows and pretzels with littles and going, oh my gosh, this is so fun. And all the crafts they would do for Thanksgiving. They would do a cup. It was a plastic cup. I'm not quite sure how they did it, but they'd cut sponges, and there was a string attached to the cup, and they'd pull the sponge along the string and make the turkey gobble, and it sounded just like a turkey gobble. It was amazing. So yeah, teachers can get really creative on this stuff. So very exciting times in elementary with Thanksgiving. Next week for my Whip and Chat, I am going to be talking about a very special place that we normally went for Thanksgiving. My grandmother lived in Guthrie, Oklahoma. It's a very small town in Oklahoma, kind of a little bit close to Tulsa. That's a little bit bigger area. My aunt lived in Tulsa. And we'd go to Guthrie almost every year for Thanksgiving. If something happened, we couldn't go, but most of the time we went. And I'm going to be talking about times at my grandmother's house for Thanksgiving, because that was the most special Thanksgiving those were special Thanksgivings. And she was I remember her just being elated that we were all there. So I can't wait to tell you about those times and the food. And all right, speaking of food, here's what I'm going to tell you. Last week I had you comment on what you were thankful for, and you've made it with me this far. Again, my Whip and Chats are not very long. So, we all know everybody likes turkey. Well, maybe some people don't. But on Thanksgiving, what is your favorite side dish? And I will tell you, mine is stuffing. Hands down, stuffing. I love it. And I've had all kinds, regular stuffing, cornbread stuffing. I love it all. I just think it tastes amazing. So that is my favorite Thanksgiving side. Please put in the comments what your favorite Thanksgiving side is for this week's chance to be put in my giveaway. I also have another announcement. This week, not going to tell you the day or anything, I am going to be doing my 1,000 subscriber giveaway. If you have not filled out the Google Doc and my last announcement on that, please fill it out so you can be entered to win that. I'll be doing that this week. And next week is an exciting week. I was talking to Brandy of Mystery Diamonds, my bestie, and we have decided to regularly go live. So starting next Monday, you didn't miss anything this past Monday. Starting next Monday is our premiere live. So I'm going to go from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock Central Time. She's going to go from 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock Central Time. And we're just going to go back to back. And once a month, we're going to have a bestie bash. And what that means is we're going to go live at the same time. So that will be really a whole lot of fun. I hope you join us, and I hope you add to the chat and help us and just talk amongst yourselves and help us in our conversations there. Hope you've enjoyed today's Whip and Chat. I'm making some progress on these joyful ladies here, and I will continue to do those tonight. And again, I hope everyone has had a great start to their week. I'm going to remind you before I go, in a world where you can be anything, be kind. This is the Principal Painter, and I am signing off.